Now, former Speaker of the House, John Boehner, really does not like Ted Cruz. During a recent talk at Stanford University, John Boehner unloaded on Ted Cruz and even compared him to Satan. According to the Stanford Daily, they reported that, quote, when specifically asked his opinions on Ted Cruz, John Boehner reportedly made a face, drawing laughter from the crowd. Quote, Lucifer in the flesh. I have Democrat friends and Republican friends. I get along with almost everyone, especially tobacco companies. But that's a different story. But I have never worked with a more miserable son of a bitch in my life. Oh, damn. Get him. Get him. What's interesting is that he said that Donald Trump is his texting buddy, right? And he said that he would rather vote for Trump if he were the Republican nominee, which looks more likely, but he would not ever vote for Cruz. He'd rather vote for a fascist than Ted Cruz, who, by the way, I think, in my personal opinion, is probably more dangerous than Trump because he knows what he's doing. I want to dispel the notion that Ted Cruz does not know what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. He wants to fuck up the country. Now, politically, Donald Trump is kind of an idiot. Now, he's great at reading the crowd, right? And then good at speaking at their level. I mean, that's one of the things Donald Trump, people love about Donald Trump. He talks like I think. He talks like I think. He hates the Mexicans and the Muslims too. I hate the Mexicans and the Muslims too. And I like to beat up on black people when they get all uppity. Yeah, well, that's how Donald Trump appeals to people. And he speaks to the third grade level. Now, here's the thing. He doesn't understand policy. So, look, I'll give you an example, right? During the primary, which is still going on, but it's almost certainly sewn up by Trump at this point. And I've kind of made the call that, well, earlier I made the call that Donald Trump was Donkey Konging his way all the way to the convention, and right now, that's what seems to be happening. Could there be a contested convention? Maybe. It's a possibility. But it's still likely that Donald Trump Donkey Kongs his way to the nomination and becomes the Republican nominee. It's almost certain at this point. Anyway, this guy was the front runner, been the front runner all this time, had no idea what a ground game was until after he lost Iowa. Are you serious? That's amazing, right? But see, this shows how shit of a human being Ted Cruz actually is. Because no one likes him. They would rather cast their vote for an idiot than Ted Cruz. Literally no one likes him except for Carly Fiorina, who, by the way, is the third least likable person who's running in this Republican primary. Now, that follows Cruz and Trump. Now, also, I've got a video for you guys from Peter King of New York, who also echoes the statements from John Boehner. Let's listen to him lay into Cruz.
I fully agree with John Boehner, and maybe he gives Lucifer a bad name by comparing him to Ted Cruz. Listen, what John Boehner was most concerned about was Ted Cruz perpetrated a fraud and a hoax when he brought about the shutdown of the government on some kind of a vague promise that he was going to be able to take Obamacare out of the budget or to end Obamacare. Ted Cruz knew it would never work. That it was never going to work, but he went ahead and did it anyway, shut down the government, cost the government money, so served no purpose.
He gives Lucifer a bad name. Oh, I love it. There's nothing better than Republican on Republican crime. I enjoy it. Now, what's funny is that some Cruz supporters will look at that and go, well, they don't like him because Ted Cruz isn't part of the establishment. That's why Cruz has got my vote. No. Ted Cruz is establishment. His wife Heidi works for Goldman Sachs. You can't get more establishment than giant banks. I'm just saying. He is the establishment. He's just a dick that nobody likes. And he's creepy. But also, aside from all of that, Ted Cruz is also insane. He's the guy that appeals to 30% of Republicans that want to instill Christian Sharia law out of the country. Now, Donald Trump may be an idiot, but Ted Cruz is an extremist that has a plan. And trust me, that plan means nothing good for America.